on, y'all? Michael Bryan here, coming to you from NFLSafeZone. We have a whole season ahead of us right now, y'all. Preseason starts this weekend. Big stuff. That means we are 3 weeks out, man. We got 3 weeks of preseason games. Then we got the first week of the season, and I don't know about y'all, but I am ready for some football. But before the season starts, you know what we got to do? We got to do predictions, because that's just what we do. I mean, what else are we going to do? Not predict? We got to predict. You know what I mean? So, this is what we got for y'all. I got the boarding passes. I got every team by division boarding passes. And trust me, y'all, I'm going to do something very nice. I'm going to break this shit. I'm going to break this off into different divisions in the different episodes. So this is part 1 of a 4-part series. Just saying. So this is part 1 of a 4-part preview. So here we go. First up, we're going to start with the NFC West. All right, y'all, the NFC West. You got the Rams, Seahawks, Cardinals, 49ers. The Rams this year, man, back the core, Stafford, Donald, McVay. I mean, as long as those 3 are still on the squad, they still got a chance. Granted, they did go 5-12 last year, which mainly because they didn't have a quarterback. Well, if Stafford gets hurt this year, you get Stetson Bennett. Stetson Bennett, you know, a Mr. National Champion at Georgia, won 2 national titles. I mean, it's totally plausible as long as he stopped drinking and he watches film. If y'all haven't watched that new Johnny Football documentary, y'all should go to Netflix and watch it, because this shit will open your eyes a little bit when it comes to Mr. Frat Boys liking to party on campus and then going to the NFL and never watching tape. So with the Rams, though, the Rams, man, I got them going 9-8 on the season. I got them losing the first 3 to open the season to Seattle, San Fran, and the Bengals. I got the Colts losing to the Rams. And then I got them losing to Philly. I got the Cardinals, Pittsburgh, both wins, losing to the Cowboys, beating Green Bay, beating Seattle, Cardinals, Cleveland, losing to the Ravens, beating Washington, beating New Orleans, and then losing to the Giants and losing to San Fran, finishing 9-8, which will probably be right on the outside of the playoffs. And then you got the Seattle Seahawks, y'all. Seattle Seahawks, they bring back Geno Smith again. I mean, Geno had a career season last year. Can he do the same thing again? That's one of the biggest questions. I don't know if Geno can do it again. I mean, he was impressive, but at the same time, the Seahawks do little with less and make it a lot. So, I mean, you can't really hate on the Seahawks because they always figure it out. But as for the Seahawks on the season, man, I got them opening up, beating the Rams, losing to the Lions, beating the Panthers, beating the Giants, losing to the Bengals, beating the Cards, beating Browns, losing to Baltimore, beating Washington, losing to the Rams, winning against San Fran, losing to Cowboys, losing to San Fran, losing to Philly, beating Tennessee, beating Pittsburgh, and beating the Cardinals to finish 10-7. Probably, possibly right on the cusp of making the playoffs, if not getting that last wild card spot. And then you got the worst team that's going to be in this NFC West division, the Cardinals. The Cardinals, they hired Jonathan Gannon. Jonathan Gannon, he's busy getting his team culture, man. He's trying to set a culture in the building. Something that they've lacked under Cliff Kingsbury, because Cliff Kingsbury, I mean, he had him a badass model woman as a wife. When Cliff Kingsbury got fired, he took off with that wife. We ain't seen him since. They went overseas. He said, deuces. I ain't mad at him, though. But I got the Cardinals opening up the season with 2 dubs, because they're going to trick people. They're going to come out and they're going to win a couple games against Washington and the Giants. But then shit's going to hit the fan real quick. I got them losing to the Cowboys, San Fran, Cincy, Rams, Seattle, Baltimore, and I'm guessing Cincinnati. Oh, Baltimore, Cleveland, and then beating Atlanta, beating Houston, losing to the Rams, losing to Pittsburgh, beating San Fran, losing to Chicago, losing to Philly, losing to Seattle, finishing 5-12, just under what they finished last season. And then you got the 49ers. 49ers I expect to win the division, obviously. They had a great season last year with no quarterback. I mean, they literally had McCaffrey playing quarterback in the playoffs. I mean, what else did you expect? These guys possibly could have beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl if it would have came down to it. As for the 49ers, though, I mean, is Brock Purdy going to be that same guy? I mean, there is tape on him. You can study Brock Purdy. You know his weaknesses now. Is he going to be able to translate it? I mean, he was Mr. Irrelevant to Mr. Stud. I mean, that doesn't happen often, and it doesn't happen often for a reason. But I got the 49ers opening this season with 4 straight dubs against Pittsburgh, Rams, Giants, Cards, losing to the Cowboys, beating Cleveland, losing to the Vikings, losing to Cincinnati, beating Jacksonville, beating Tampa Bay, losing to Seattle, losing to Philly, beating Seattle, losing to the Cards, winning against Baltimore, winning against Washington, and finishing off the season with a dub against the Rams, finishing at 11-6. Granted, I know I said they'd be better than last year, maybe, but 13-4 last year, 11-6 this year. I think teams are going to be a lot better this year. As my personal opinion, there's not going to be a lot of bad teams. There's going to be a lot of subpar to mediocre and good teams out there. But that's it for the NFC West. And then we got the AFC West, y'all. So the AFC West goes a little something like this. You got the Chiefs, Chargers, Vegas, and the Broncos. I mean, this division should get interesting this year. The Chiefs, they got rid of their offensive coordinator, Eric Bieniemy. Granted, I don't know how relevant he truly was. I mean, he called the plays, I guess, but Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, from what I've seen on that documentary, I mean, it's mainly that. But the Chiefs, ain't nobody going to win a Super Bowl or do anything unless you beat them. So every team the Chiefs play this year, that team is going to give them their best shot. It's just what comes with the territory of being Super Bowl champions. Also, Patrick Mahomes, he's having another kid, I believe. So congratulations on that, Patty Boy Mahomes. But I got the Chiefs opening up the season with 3 straight dubs against the Lions, Jags, Bears, losing to the Jets, losing to the Vikings, beating Denver, beating the Chargers, losing to Denver, losing to the Dolphins, winning week 11, losing week 12 to the Raiders, losing to the Packers in Green Bay, and then winning the last 3 games of the season. Bills, Pats, Vegas, losing to the Bengals week 17 and beating the Chargers last game. I got the Chiefs finishing at 11-6. Their record doesn't matter, man. Like I said, it's gonna come playoff time when it matters with the Chiefs. Then you got the Chargers, man. The Chargers, they were a disappointing team last year. A lot of teams picked them to go to the Super Bowl. A lot of teams picked them to go deep into the playoffs. Granted, Brandon Staley, their coach, he made a lot of questionable decisions throughout the year that cost his team some games. Injuries cost them games as well. But they still got Austin Eckler, barely hanging on by a thread, and they got Justin Herbert. So you got to watch out for that. But granted, I got the Chargers winning the first 2 games of the year, losing to the Vikings, beating Vegas, beating the Cowboys, losing to the Chiefs, beating the Bears, losing to the Jets, winning against the Lions, losing to Green Bay, winning against Baltimore, New England, Denver, then losing to the Raiders, losing to Buffalo, losing to Denver, and then losing to the Chiefs to finish 9-8. Yeah, I got them going on a hard losing streak. That last 4 weeks of the season, I got them losing every game the last 4 weeks of the year, and that's going to get Brandon Staley up out of Los Angeles. And then we'll move to the Raiders, where Josh McDaniels is the head coach. I cannot stand this guy. Any slur by that, he can just eat one. I can't stand that dude. I really don't even want to do it. I got the Raiders going 8-9. And then you got the Broncos. The Broncos got Sean Payton. Sean Payton, he comes over from New Orleans. He had a year off. Can he transform the squad? I mean, they were very disappointing. He's talked a lot of shit about Nathaniel Hackett, saying Hackett did probably the worst coaching job, yada, yada, yada. Granted, but I look back and I'm like, Russell Wilson fell off a fucking cliff. So if he is able to climb up that cliff with baby number 3 on the way, Russell Wilson, congratulations. But if Russell Wilson is able to climb up that cliff, then Sean Payton might win Coach of the Year, and the Broncos go 9-8 though, subparly. So actually, he ain't gonna win no Coach of the Year because 9-8 ain't gonna get you Coach of the Year, Sean Payton. Sorry about that. But that's it for the AFC West. That is. Stay tuned for NFL Safe Zone Part 2 NFL schedule preview.